All right. First things first. Let me just there we go. The next thing's next. Before I even move, I haven't even moved from this spot. Hello everyone, and whoa, okay. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Minecraft. And oh fuck, wait, what is the sensitivity? Hold on, give me a second. Controls, mass settings, sensitivity. Let's take that down to like a 50. Also, okay, hold on. Some things are just not meant to be. Yeah, is everything good? Why is everything going to shit? Hold on, let me turn off some stuff. Oh, I see the problem here. I'm currently working on a video right now. Ah, but I can't get rid of... I'll take care of that. I'll look at that later. Anyway! Wait, welcome, everyone, welcome back to Minecraft, where, okay, everything is moving a bit better now. Welcome back to Minecraft. If you are watching this on YouTube, you don't really know what's going on, but if you're watching this on Twitch, the title kind of explains everything. And that is, we're finally going to the surface. However, not just yet. For what we're gonna do is, first things first, we are going to make from 1 2 3 4 5 5. So 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5, and then this. We are going to make from here all the way to right here just purely gold. Now you may be thinking, how is that possible? We don't have a lot of gold. But if you have been watching this channel for a while and you've been here since I made it, I have a gold farm, of which I do plan on making this entire thing out of gold. Now you may be thinking, that's silly. Why would you be doing that? Because why the fuck not? I say, why the fuck not? I was sitting there. Boom, and then we have to do this part. I am not going to do any math on this. I'm just going to make the gold blocks. If I have any gold blocks, then I will. If I already have gold blocks, I'm going to use that. Hello. Well, if I already have gold blocks, I'm going to use that. However, I'm going to go into actually, but then again, I think I spent a lot of my gold getting emeralds, so we'll see how we go. We'll see how we do on that. Okay, there we go. This entire point from there to here is going to be filled with just gold. This part is just going to be granite. It's just going to be granite. Actually, I think I might take it and make it into polished granite, but we'll see where we go. We'll see where we go from there. Okay, let's go. And first things first, let's go and see what hello, Sergeant Steve. You know, it's been quite the while. He's supposed to be in. Oh fuck! Everything is going to shit. He's supposed to be. Sergeant Steve is supposed to be in every single world that I'm in. However, a lot of my worlds he's not in, because some of them he hasn't I haven't even gotten some stuff yet. What's in here? That's just glass. Okay, glass is no place for what I'm doing. Here we go. See that. I think I know why it's dark. I think I know why it's so laggy. Hold on. Let's go to sleep. See how many zombies die, or how many things despawn. Okay, here we go. Valuables. How do we got? Okay, we don't have a lot, but we do have a way to get a whole lot of them. And that is, do I have any rockets on me? I have 7 rockets. Ooh, that's not a lot, but I can make do. I can make do. My computer's not really running very well because right now I'm kind of uploading a video. Wait. Oh yeah, I forgot that I made that. Hello. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Okay, if you've been here for quite a while, I think I might take this last part down because nothing's gonna come in here. Also, I told one of the guys at what's it called, at Bible study that I know how to make an item sorter. Yes. Just got a notification on Discord. College group this week. Sorry everyone. Give me 1 moment, please. I apologize if anyone comments right now and I don't do anything. Give me 1 moment. We have gotten a notification from that I must send picture for. There is a specific picture that I got that do be hilarious. Oh wait, is it not on this? Okay, hold on. I have a funny picture that I would like to send them. However, for some reason it doesn't show up on it doesn't show up on what's called on Discord, so I have to find it in my actual camera roll, but it's so fucking far back. Where is it? Oh, here it is. It's sending. This is gonna be hilarious. There's a specific for anyone who doesn't know, there's a specific picture that I have that I send whenever I'm on my way. Okay, this is not going to be enough. This is not going to be enough. Should have done something. Okay, so what I'm going to do, oh no. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. I guarantee you that in this stream I will go to the surface. I will go to the surface in this stream. I guarantee you guys. But first I need to get some rockets. And for some reason my entire game is extremely choppy. Oh, by the way, for those of you that are on YouTube, subscribe. I think I should probably make that into concrete, but it's fine. Whatever is in here can't get me. Ha. You fool. Fuck. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is go onto this platform right here. Gonna look down. And I'll be right back. Because restroom. So there's that. All right. So I've been doing a little bit of thinking. Hold on, I gotta get Twitch back up for a bit. All right, I did a little bit of thinking. You know how like during like the 1920s there was like the prohibition where you had to go to like a small room. You had to go to like a secret place in order to like speak or have your like speak easily, have speak what's on your mind, or have a drink, which was illegal. I put them on the thought they were on the wrong way. I put them on the wrong way. But does anyone remember? Does anyone remember that? Oh, I say remember, but does anyone know about the prohibition? Okay. We might need that for quote unquote offensive words. We might need that. Why? Well, you see, there's a lot of words that aren't even offensive, yet people say that they are. I don't like lag. And yet people say that they are. Like you'll go and buy something, and the person says here you go. The person that works there says here you go, and then you'll say thanks chief, and they'll say oh no sorry you can't say that, it's offensive, and you'll be like why, and they won't tell you why. They will just be like it's offensive, or you'll say Just say like, how is that offensive? They'll say, oh sorry, the word how is also offensive as well. But nobody will ever say why. They'll just say that it is. They'll say that things are offensive, but won't say why. Okay, you know what? Fuck this. Hold on. Give me a second. Video settings. Put render distance like down to 16. How about that? There. Can't see shit. Everything seems to run normally now. How are we doing? Bruh. Also, wait, don't I have gold in one of these? Shulker box is just a bunch of melons. Wherever for the end of times. Oh, hey. Okay. Let me get something here. Right. I made a joke a while ago where it was like, where I was like, all right, another day of working for cancel culture. What are we canceling today? And then it'll be like I type something, and then I'm like, we're getting rid of payday bars because it's offensive to people who don't have jobs. I made that joke. A few days and here's I almost said a few days later. Here's the thing. Never mind. I thought that I didn't have enough. I have too much. I have too much. What part does it go up to? Here? No? Like we should just have like, and also a comedian was talking about this, that we should kind of have like word speakeasies where like you can just go in and say stuff where it's like, yeah, sure, words are a lot like, and he said no, words that are a lot like alcohol. Use them too much, you can abuse it. You can use it too much and it will hurt people. But if you use it responsibly, yeah, it's a good time. So yeah, I'm just thinking. He has a point. Like, words used to be like certain words. I understand that there are some that are offensive. Okay, I understand that. Okay, however, I feel like that some people have gone too far. Because honestly, I really think that some people, the only reason why we think that things are offensive nowadays is because somebody made a mistake a long time ago, and to this day, is way too stubborn to admit it. That's I'm pretty sure that's a reason why a lot of us think the way how we do nowadays. Is because somebody at one point was wrong, but they were just way too stubborn to admit it. Remember, somebody wanted to cancel the fucking rainbow at one point because I honestly don't remember why. It was just one of those things where it's like what's it called? Just one of those things where it's like people will tell you that it's wrong, but they won't tell you why it's wrong. Which honestly, here's the thing. If I do something wrong and you tell me it's wrong and you cannot tell me why it's wrong, I'm not going to take you seriously. I will not. I cannot take you seriously. No, I think I said that at one point, and I think that there were some people that were just saying that I sound stupid for some reason. I don't know. Well, here's the thing. Also, there was another point where I stated at one point, if you're working, this is mostly for and I was like, hey, this is for like new people. If you're working and you are extremely tired at the end of the day, and your boss comes in and asks you to if you can stay a bit longer for like about 5 minutes, do not take it. You will not. It's not 5 minutes. It's like about an hour. You'll be there for the rest of you'll be there for like the rest of the day, if you're lucky. And people just like went crazy. We're just like, you don't have good work ethic. You don't have any of that stuff. You don't. That's how you're never gonna get promoted because of dumb shit because apparently I had that opinion. Here's the thing. When I was trying, I think I uploaded like another video a bit later. I think I got the same exact response, but I would try to be more clear on it. If I haven't, I'm gonna do that again, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get the same response. I'm pretty sure I may or may not get the same response, but the entire thing is, look, if you are extremely tired at the end of the day to the point where you know that you are not going to be able to last like another minute, and your boss comes and tells you, hey, can you stay for another 5 minutes? We need you. Well, then if you think you can handle it, then stay. However, if you're about to pass out for some odd reason, or you're just that tired, then just say no. Just say no, because like you want to go home, right? And your health is more important than the money, okay? Yeah, don't overwork yourself like that, okay? Yeah, don't overwork yourself. Just be... Just, like, work on, like, work, yes, work is good. However, sometimes it's not as good. Sometimes it's not good. Too much of it can kill you. All right. Okay. That's the thing. Yet people are telling me that I don't have good work ethic because I'm trying to tell people, hey, yeah, hey, just work on yourself. Like, yes, get that money, but you need to work on yourself as well. You know what? Let's take this back right now. Let's take this back right now. Fuck. Apparently that trick doesn't work anymore. Okay. Let's take that. Let's take this. Let's go and do our project. I'm most likely gonna run out of gonna run out of blocks when I do this. Okay. Most likely. Most likely. Okay. Well. The fuck did they like? Did they make him more strong or something? Okay. Here we go. But yeah, don't overwork yourself. Cows seem to be the same, so I don't. Well, the nose seems to stick out a bit more, but okay. I don't see any. Okay, well, let's do this. Block of gold. Here we go. Let's do this. Most likely, this will take up all of the blocks, but we'll see how far we get on this. Okay. Okay. Let's see how far we get on this. Oh, we might actually. I might have had way too much gold. Well, it's a good thing I got rid of most of it. So. Well then. I now have an entire... Well, there's that. That's it. That's the project done there. That's the project done there. So let's hold on. My back is killing me. I really need to buy it. Also, I love how I just made this so they can't go through. Pigs. Anyway, let's imagine you can throw slime balls. That would be fun. So yeah, we're finally leaving the underground. And we're finally going to the surface. Wasn't that the entire plot of Undertale? Trying to get out of the underground to go to the surface? But I kind of want to go through like a little bit of history, because the entire underground part started off with just like how big where all this wood is. That's where it all started off as. It's just that. But then I kind of like dug out to like where a cave was. Like seriously, behind like this wall right here is like the rest of a cave. So, and most of this was already a cave, and I just covered it up, and I just dug down to here. Made the villager farm right here, and then next thing I did was I think I made another quartz farm, and I made this, which in all actuality I probably might. The entire reason of making this was because I wanted to make a magma farm, and the magma farm was going to be used to make the what's called make the gold farm, but then I just ended up just going and mining up a bunch of stuff, and we're finally out to the surface. Okay, finally. Don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna go down in there for like different things, like there we go, for like little things. But as of right now, we're just going to got nothing in there, so we just we're finally out. We're gonna start working on different things now. We're start working on different things. That's going to stay there. That, however, is going to go away. That is going to go away. We don't really need it anymore. That was just for XP, but we got a bigger XP farm now. We don't really need, but maybe you think, oh, we might need rotten flesh. We got the pig farm. A pig farm makes rotten flesh. Oh, what if we need what if we need bones? For what? Bone meal? We got a bone meal farm that which is this. This the flowers from here. This thing, these right, the sugarcane right here, the kelp from here, and the whatever this thing is from here. I will be right back. I don't know why I need to go again. I'll be back. Not gonna take my phone this time. Okay. All right. Did I walk it? Yeah, I did. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Now I'm still going to Now I'm still gonna leave that there for that. Why did I get rid of that stuff? No, but I'm gonna keep all that stuff down there. However, I do want to make a house here. I do want to make a house around here. I did want to make a bee farm, but then I was like, you know what? No, we're not gonna make that. I don't remember. Where? If you don't mind me asking, game. Let's go and check. I'm gonna go and look here. Okay, so this block right here represents where all of them are, but if we go into spectator mode. What? 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 It's right there. Why is it further down? What did I use it for? Oh. Yeah, right. I just remembered. Okay, but yeah. Oh yeah, because this is where like I had the original super smelter. And this is where I kept the this is where I kept a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot, you know, there's a lot of stuff here that I don't need. Yeah, I'm gonna keep. Well, let's go and put some stuff away. Let's go put some stuff away and let's start up on our trip to taking that down, because now that we're up in the surface, we're now able to go and make different things. So let's go back to the underground. How was the fall? If you want to look around, give us a call. Okay, so boom, boom, bam, bam, bop, 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 pow. There we go. Stone, we're gonna put here. Wood goes in here. And sticks as well. You know, this counts as stone, so miscellaneous, that's this stuff. Any other blocks there of miscellaneous? This is miscellaneous. Miscellaneous non-blocks, so that goes, that actually is miscellaneous. Oh wait, this as well. Miscellaneous, this goes in here. So yeah, you know, I have a lot of food here. Miscellaneous non-blocks, we're gonna put that there. Mob, we're gonna get rid, let's get rid of some stuff. Oh, I'm dying. Okay, wait, no way, I just put a bunch of stuff in. What happens to my food? I ate all of it. I ate all of it, didn't I? I ate all of it. Yep. Okay, well, let's eat the cookies. Cookies are actually surprisingly okay. Oops. There. And it's already time to sleep. Okay. Actually, you know, it's been a while, so why not... Okay, well, fuck you too then. Okay, it's time to go up. Wait, no, wait, why do I have this? No. Miscellaneous non-blocks. Okay, then we're gonna put the emeralds away in here. There, that goes there. Well, let's go and let's there we go. That's not even for there, that's just for... Wait, really? Okay. We're gonna get a lot of blocks off of this. Like, I'm not joking. We're gonna get a lot off of it. Oh yeah, that's right. I used some wood for some of this stuff. Yeah, I used like a whole lot of yeah, I can see why a lot of mobs weren't spawning. I never looked on the sides. But now, you know, it feels kind of nice that finally getting rid of this. However, I'm gonna kind of miss it because it was a really big landmark. It was a really big landmark that I used to get back home. However, I'm pretty sure if I ever go exploring now, it'll be fine. All I have to do is just take out the oh, I forgot to there. I'm getting a lot of stone blocks back from this, but however, I'm pretty sure a lot of the blocks that I'm taking down is no longer going to be fuck. Okay. Here we go. Let's just continue going. Huh. There we go. Sorry I'm not talking once again. I'm trying to think of something to talk about. I had an entire thing to talk about before. I made a short a while ago. However, I haven't uploaded it yet. But the short that I made kind of touched on the fact of I just remember how much trees used to be around here, but now like it's largely gone. But I touched upon the fact saying my prediction. I'm kind of predicting some stuff, okay? Yeah, and my prediction is that we keep on like saying that we shouldn't say any words because because people keep getting offended by stuff. But the amount of times people get offended is so much that one day we're gonna become so we're gonna have to get rid of so many stuff because someone who cannot handle either a compliment or an insult, like even the smallest little insult, and we're gonna get rid of so many things, or we're gonna be so offended by stuff that we're just gonna run out of things to be offended by, to the point where we're just gonna make a full circle to the point where we're just not offended by anything anymore. So that's my takeaway. There we go. So yeah, that's my takeaway. Like we're gonna become so we're gonna have to get rid of so many things that we're just gonna run out of things to get rid of, to the point where we're just gonna be like, oh, I guess we can't really be offended by something anymore. We're gonna have to make exceptions, but then at some point we're gonna have to make so many exceptions that we're just gonna come full circle to once again not being offended by anything anymore. We can't really be offended by anything. Oh shit, that guy speaks so loud that it reaches all the way down here. Oh! What do you sell? Nothing of use. So yeah. Canceling payday because because it's offensive to people that are They're not offended by it. But here's the really stupid part about people saying that things are offensive. The majority of people that are saying that something is offensive aren't even the people that are supposedly supposed to be offended by it. And a lot of the stuff that people are like, oh, you can't say it's offensive to this group of people. Meanwhile, that group of people are laughing their asses off at that joke that is being said that we cannot say because it's offensive. Like the amount, like the majority of people that are saying things are offensive are not even part of a group that is what, and they're not even part of a group that is supposed to be offended by it. Like, think about that. Imagine someone telling you what you are like. And here's the okay. Imagine someone telling you what you can and cannot like, because according to them and because they don't like it, you are supposed to not like it either. Like how narcissistic do you have to be to like try and force everyone to hate something simply because someone else doesn't like it, or they just feel uncomfortable by it? Like, how much of a bad person do you have to be to like force someone to not like something just because you don't like it or you're uncomfortable by it? If you're uncomfortable with something, please just say, hey, I'm uncomfortable. And if the person doesn't stop, then just do what your parents would always tell you with a bully, and just walk away. Then again, bullies are a lot like herpes. Once they're on you, you can't really get away. So bully is kind of not a good example. So yeah, there's that. But still, like, if something makes you feel uncomfortable, please notarize the person that's saying the things that makes you feel uncomfortable. And if they don't stop, then just get up and walk out. Or just flat out ignore them. Like, yes, there are certain things that if it makes you feel uncomfortable, then you should like speak up about it, and that you should argue with. But there are a whole lot of shit that you shouldn't like have to like make a huge deal out of. Like, for example, I don't like lemon cakes or anything lemon pastry. Lemon candy and lemonade, lemon candy, lemonade, and just lemons themselves are fine to me. Okay? Yeah, however, lemon pastries I do not like. I really do not like them. They taste horrible to me. But you don't see me going and saying, "Oh, I want to get rid of lemon pastries just because I don't." You don't see me going around saying, "Oh yeah, we should all get rid of," and nobody in the world should like lemon pastries just because I don't like them. Like, yes, there are some things that are bad in the world that we should get rid of. However, there are certain things that we shouldn't have to get rid of just because one person doesn't like them. Just because one person doesn't like them. Also, you know, I kind of am sad to see this thing go, because I remember when I was making this. And I remember how hard it was for me to make it. And also, like, the amount of, like, the amount of, like, time it took me to make it. And a lot of shit that's gone on because of it. What the fuck? Hold on. Yeah, I was really hoping that I can get some stuff off of that. Get some XP off of that. But still, like, this is like I don't like lemon pastries. I don't like lemon squares, lemon cakes. I don't like any pastry that's flavored lemon. Why is the pastry that's flavored lemon not even taste like lemon? Just tastes like hell. But still, I don't like that stuff. You don't see me like telling everyone that they shouldn't like it just because I don't like it. All right? We shouldn't be you don't see me doing that. You don't see me going around being like, "Oh, yeah, this is the worst thing in the world. We should all get rid of it." Like it's really stupid if I were to say that. I would sound really dumb. But I don't do it because, well, as I said, it's extremely stupid. We don't need to get rid of it just because I don't like it because other people like it. Because other people like it. And so I respect their beliefs to not like their right to not like lemon cake. So they can respect my belief to not like lemon cake. So there's that. But yeah, just like, but here's the thing. There are certain things where it's like, if someone says they don't like it, immediately it's like people will immediately be like surprised that they don't like it. It's like, you don't, it's like, yeah, I don't like pistachios. You don't like pistachios? That's what I just said. Yes. You don't like pistachios? Yes, it's not, you saying this is not going to make me like it anymore. However, there are certain things that I simply don't like simply because of the fact, just out of just pure spite. There's certain things that I don't like just out of pure spite. Like let's say for example, like a new movie comes out. And I'm not gonna, like, for example, the Minecraft movie. For all I know, it's probably a good movie. All right, the Snow White movie. My mom went and watched it. And it was probably a good movie. For all I know. Okay. Now, here's the thing. The reason why I don't like it is simply because of how much, like, the movie industries try and make something that's been done before seem like a new thing, and seem like that and they just act like it's the newest thing ever. It's the best movie in the world, and it's like you say it's the best movie in the world, and then about like 5 days later you release another movie, saying it's the best movie in the world. Like, which is it? Is this the best movie in the world, or is the other movie the best movie in the world? And don't tell me, oh well, it used to be the best movie in the world, but it's no longer the best movie. But the thing is, like, why do you do this? Like, that's the reason. I purely don't like it simply because of how much people say how good something is. If someone says that something is like the best in the world, I'm immediately gonna be like, it's not. There's no way it is, because there's no such thing as it being the best in the world if you're gonna be saying that for every movie. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Wait, did I forget to do the... Oh, I did. Okay, hold on. Like, I'm not gonna do that because I'm not gonna go and watch it because you're telling me that that's a great thing. I'm gonna go and watch it if I feel like watching it. That's the thing. I'm not saying that. Oh fuck. I'm not saying everyone should do the same thing, but I'm trying to give. I'm not saying that I'm everyone, that everyone should follow my footsteps. No, what I'm saying, I'm saying this stuff because. Oh fuck. Because I honestly believe that I'm just using myself as an example here, okay? I'm using myself as an example. I know that people are not me. I also, wait, I kind of want to get onto that tangent as well. The entire thing where it's like, I would never do that. They're not saying to act like, whenever someone uses the example, I wouldn't do that, or if it were me, they're not saying that you shouldn't be like them. What they're saying is they're just using what they're doing is using themselves as an example. They're not telling you to be like them. I always hated that because my sister went through that phase where I would say, look, if it were me, I wouldn't do that, and she would just like, before I can even finish my sentence, it would just be, well, I'm not you. Like, the fuck? I'm not saying to do it because I'm not saying to be like me. I'm saying this to give you an example. And if you want like an example of like when this happened, a long time ago, my sister was in when we were in this is like a couple years ago, not a couple, like about like 5 years ago. I was in I just graduated from high school. I just graduated, and my sister and my brother are still in high school, and she didn't really do well in school, and so as a consequence, she is now going into what's called, that's I'm gonna put that with Stone. That was Stone. As a consequence, is now going to what's called to summer school, and she doesn't want to go. I went to summer school every single year. I went there for freshman, junior, and freshman, sophomore, and junior. I didn't go for senior year, which was lucky. So maybe not every year, but I went to it for most of the years, for most of the time I was in there. Okay, and I would go in there for about like 8 hours a day for 4 weeks. She was complaining, saying that she didn't want to go, but I was like, but I kind of and I was like, yeah, I know that feeling. I didn't want to go either. But then she was like, I don't want to go for 3 hours. She was going for 3 hours a day for 3 weeks. I was like, you're going for 3 hours a day for 3 weeks. Actually, no, it was 8 hours a day like mine, but she was going for 3 weeks. But I was like, I went for 4 weeks for 8 hours a day. I would have killed for 3 weeks. Almost every single year, I went for 4 hours a day. I mean, not 4 hours, 8 hours a day for 4 weeks, and I would have killed for 3 weeks. That would have been great. I would have loved that. And I stated that I went every single. I say that I went for like 4 weeks. Chief viewers on stream. Alright, chief viewers on streamboo.com. Remove the space. Yes, I'm gonna make fun of that, and yes, I am making fun of that every single time. But thing is, I was like, I would have killed for 3 weeks. That sounds great. 3 weeks. 8 hours a day for 3 weeks. That sounds great. Actually, I did have that for the first year. I had that for like freshman years of summer school. I had that. I had 3 weeks, but 8 hours, and I loved it, and it was great. I'm gonna get to that in a bit, but I told her that, and she's like, "Well, I'm not you, so you're not. So your point is invalid." And I was like, "That's not what I was saying. I wasn't saying to be like me. I was saying, I would have done that. Like that was like, you're lucky. I didn't do that. I didn't get that. I got that for like one time, and then." I'm hearing squeaking for some reason, but like why do people do this? It's like I'm not saying to be like me. What I'm saying is you're lucky because I didn't get to do that. So just be lucky. Just be grateful that you don't have to do that. Because I didn't get to do that. Which brings me to another topic. There's a lot of people that don't, and I've talked about like like people's childhood before. I've talked about all of that stuff. I've talked about a lot of stuff in that regard. But the thing is, like I've talked about like how it really seems like that we're trying to force people to grow up a lot faster than they should be growing up. Because the reason why, this is what, like, if I want to propose this, if we like let people like remain kids for as long as possible, like, and I don't mean like, oh, let them remain kids their entire life, still teach them and have them mature, teach them new things, teach them like we're teaching in school, but stop that entire like, oh, you need to, I really wish that you would grow up so a lot faster, like, why are you still a kid? And like, if we stopped that entire thing, I'm pretty sure we would have a lot less people having like midlife crises. Like, or at least we would still have the same, even if we do, I'm pretty sure we would have less of them in the same way that we do right now. We would have it in a less I'm gonna try and try and stay as young as long as possible, because there would be so much more people. There'll be so much more people that are gonna be like, you know what? I I had a good childhood. I had a good youth. I accept that this is how things are now. This is just the way things are. What do you mean monsters nearby? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That guy's more than 9 blocks away. Oh, let me kill this child first. That is wild to say. Motherfucker. I'm gonna make when I make the house, I'm gonna make it so that there's okay, let's do this. Fine. Fine. But yeah, we would have like I honestly believe that we would have a lot less like midlife crises in the way we do now. Because people wouldn't like maybe have like a midlife crisis, but it'll be like a mild one where it would be like, I'm getting older. But then they would think about it and just be like, this is just how it is. There's a lot of things that I did, a lot of things I could have done, but I had a good run. There's like that's something that can happen if we just stopped like trying to get people to grow up more. Because look at it this way, you know, like people are trying to get more and more people to grow up faster and faster with every generation. But the thing is, a lot of times, this is what happens. You do what you're told. You try and grow up. You do what you can. So you ignore your childhood. And you're looking towards the future. You're looking towards getting a job and all that stuff. So you work hard to get the job. All right. All right. So you work hard to get the job, and then you finally get it, and you continue working. You get married, you have a kid. This is not obviously how it's always gonna work, but still, just bear with me here, okay? Yeah, use this as an example, okay? Yeah, because either way you live your life, if you just only go for growing up and living and just working, it's gonna end in the same way as the story ends, okay? You grow up, you have a spouse, you have a kid, and then you go and notice them working. But you don't, then you go and tell them to do the same thing, go and tell them to start working, that they need to grow up. And then finally, you get to the age and you just continue working. You don't spend any time with your child. You just continue working. Oh my God, that is so much more space. That feels so much more like so much more space. And then you just continue working until finally you're at the age of where you're tired. You don't spend time with your child because you do what you were told that you have to do in order to be a Do I have knockback on this? I have knockback too. And then you continue doing everything that you were told to do so you can have a fulfilled life. Alright? Okay, great. Now, you continue doing that. And then finally, the day comes where you finally retire. And life just does not feel as fulfilling as it was told. You just think you look at it and you see, and now you're retired and you see kids having fun. And you think to yourself, wait, hold on, why are these kids having fun? Where was all that fun when I was a kid? Where was all of that? And you're just thinking to yourself, why does it not feel as good as I was told that it would feel? Well, because, and you look at, and as I just said, you will look at people younger than you living the life, having fun, and all that stuff, and you wonder where was all of that when you were that age. And the sad truth is, it was always there. It was always there. You just didn't pay attention to it because you did what you thought that you had to do. You did what you were told that you had to do. You listened to people who are now in the same position as you. You listened to people who didn't want you to have fun, who wanted you to grow up, who didn't like the fact that you were having fun as a kid. So here you are now at the age where you are looking back and thinking to yourself, I should have enjoyed it while it lasted. And a lot of people are saying, enjoy it, you should enjoy your youth. And a lot of people say these are the best years of your life, enjoy it. But a lot of people, like, there's a lot of memes about this where it's like, oh, these are the best, oh yeah, your 20s are the best years, how the majority of people in their 20s spend their life, and it just shows like someone just laying down in bed. Don't spend your life like that. Like, go out and actually have some fun. Go out, have some fun, all that stuff. Alright? Go camping. A lot of people don't like camping because, oh, it's just pretending to be homeless for a night. Okay, sure, and? It's just one night, you can still have some fun. Yeah, there's some points where it's not gonna be fun, but then you get back home and you just think back to that and you're just thinking, I experienced some stuff. Maybe not a lot, but I experienced some stuff. Like, for example, when I went out camping with scouts, I learned a lot of stuff, okay? I learned a lot of like knots, learned a lot of stuff about wilderness. Nowadays I don't remember that much stuff because I want to get out of scouts as much as I could. But I ended up learning a lot of stuff. When I was in scouts, when we went camping, I went to summer camp, and well, summer camp was actually fun. Of course, like the first time I ever went, I cried like a bitch because, well, I was homeschooled that year, so I couldn't really handle being away from home. But hey, I'm here now, and things I look back at that and just think to myself, things weren't so bad. There's a lot of stuff that when we're kids we don't want to be in anymore, and the biggest thing is school. And look, I get it. You don't like school, you don't like learning. But the main reason why people don't like school is because it's mandatory for them to go there. It's mandatory that they must go there, and that they have to go and learn. They have to get out of bed. They can't stay in bed all day. You know, they just want to everyone just wants to rest. They just want to like just sleep all day. They don't want to do anything, okay? They just want to rest, right? And I understand that. I understand that you want to rest. I just understand that you don't want to do anything. But I remember like all my life I hated being in school. I hated being in school because I didn't want to learn. I wanted to just stay in bed all day. Yeah. I didn't like the learning part. But what I really did like was was going and being with friends and doing all that stuff. And sometimes there were certain things in there that I actually liked. There were certain times where I actually did like learning in there. There were a lot of things that I liked, and there were a lot of things that I didn't like. But one thing I did know was I wanted to get out of school as much as possible, and I couldn't wait to graduate and finally be done with school, because I remember knowing that I didn't have to go back to school ever again. I didn't have to go to college or any of that stuff. But then I remember like a couple days after I graduate and hating school for so long, I remember just looking back at after a couple days and looking back at school and just thinking to myself, maybe it wasn't so bad. Because the entire time you're going through it, you're you feel like you just don't want to be there, and you hate it so much. You're focusing on the bad stuff, but then after you get out, you realize that a lot of the good times that you had were in school. There was a lot of good stuff that happened back there, a lot of good times that you had. Of course, there were a lot of bad times, but that's the thing. There's even a book called Factfulness that even talks about this, where you more focus on the bad stuff than you do on the good stuff. Like when you think about it, when you wake up in the morning, your thought process is, I don't want to go. Like when your parents wake you up in the morning, what's your main thought process? I don't want to go to school. I don't want to learn today. I don't want to, like, you're thinking of like all the bad stuff, like, oh, they're gonna make us do this, they're gonna make us do that. I don't want to learn about, like, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, I don't want to hear about PEMDAS, the quadratic formula. I don't want to learn about that stuff. I don't want to learn about this. That's your main thought process. You don't want to do that. But then your parent says, oh, but your friends will be there. Right. Your friends will be there. Like all the fun times with like your friends, and all the fun times that you have with all the people that you socialized with. Like you would talk, like lunchtime would come along, and you would be able to talk with your friends. You would have a nice lunch. Okay, school lunches are not that good, but good as, like, I remember school lunches being awesome. School lunches being amazing. Even through high school, they were okay. They weren't so bad, but still, that's getting off topic. Like, you would think you go to lunch, you couldn't wait for lunch because you'd be staring at your lunchbox thinking, oh, I have some good stuff in there that I can trade during lunch. I have some of this stuff, I have some of that, and you'd be thinking that the entire time. So okay, you're now looking towards a good time with what's called with lunch. Now, a lot of the good times that I had were lunch, but one of the very few times where I actually did want to go to school was when we had a field trip. And the reason why is because, well, field trips for me were really good because we we would be out there for the entire day. Yeah, and then when we would I'm gonna look at something. Hold on. Oh. I see. But like I remember like those days being like really fun for me because you didn't because school was like okay you have to get up, but then that point was just oh, I have to get up, but I actually want to get up now because I know that I have to go to school, but I don't have to learn. Or at least if I'm learning, because like for example, going to the planetarium, that was awesome. Going to the planetarium was always fun, because why? Well, yeah, you're learning about space, but you're learning about it through a movie, which was always for some reason always more fun than actually learning it from your teacher for some odd reason. Like I still don't know why to this day. I still don't know why that was always preferred. I don't know why. I liked learning mainly from movies than I did from my teacher. It was always like through something animated, which is another thing. Is like you're like I like learning in real life, like the teachers would always try and make it seem like oh this is how it's done. They would always try and make it fun, but they never like but then you would see a bunch of kids just learning it more from videos. But then there's the exact opposite end of the spectrum where teachers only put on videos and be like, here, watch this video and you'll learn anything. You'll learn stuff. But it always seemed to be the exact opposite kids that were in that class than there were in... Oh, that's why. I now understand. It always seemed like that there were the exact opposite kids in that specific class when it came to when it came to like when it came to learning. Like it was always the kids that were in like the class where or what's it called? That were in the class that were like that were where it was the teacher that was like, okay, here, just watch this video and you guys will learn. It always seemed like hello? This is a scam call. Yeah, but it was always the students that were in the class with the teacher that was like, watch a video and you guys will be fine. That always wanted to learn from the teacher himself. And then there was the teacher where it's like, yeah, we're not going to watch a video. I'm just going to try and make this fun. Those students would always seem to be the ones that always wanted to learn just through videos. And then we have the exact middle, which was always the best because it would be a teacher that would be like, here's like I had this exact teacher when I was in high school for my geometry class, where where he would be like, okay guys, I'm gonna show you a video. You got here's the link to the video. It's on the school page it's on my school page. You guys can watch it again if you want. That looks like it's a. I'm gonna go to that tree over there. That looks like a tree that was built, not rendered in. But that's the thing. Like he would be like, here's a video that you guys can watch. Here's just watch this video, and then here's the assignment that you can do. I'm gonna explain it to you as well, and I'm gonna tell you like all this stuff that's really cool about this, so you guys can have some fun. This tree does not look like that it was rendered. It looks like it was built. But yeah, like, you guys get my point, right? Like, that's don't need that. But that's the thing. Like, I don't, like, we don't. Oh, that's where that fire was. Well, I have a new landmark. But like, if you're teaching, please like, learn to find a way where like the kids will find it interesting to come into school and actually want to learn. Even if it's even if they don't want to come in and learn, at least make it a way for, I swear I keep seeing something. I'm probably just going crazy. But like, even if they don't want to come in and learn, make it a way for them to at least not be able to tolerate it and just be like, oh, I can't learn this, it's unbearable. I'm going down here to get some glass because I'm going to make a new house. But yeah, because a lot of times, but anyway, back to what I was saying is that a lot of times we focus on the parts that are bad and not the parts that are good. And I've mentioned this before. Like, there's a book even called Factfulness, which I recommend reading. If you're listening to it on audio while you're working, it's about like a 6-hour long audio. It's fine. You'll be fine. You'll survive. It'll take you're. But it touches on the fact of that that people more of see the bad stuff that happens more than the good stuff, because, well, they don't, because it's more of like an evolutionary thing. I've mentioned this before, where we would focus more on bad things more than good things, because, well, because we want to avoid the bad stuff more. Okay, wait, hold on, I messed up here. Because of that. But a lot of times we don't need that anymore. However, we still do need it because, well, what's called, because there's still things called red flags that we need to look out for. But we don't often need it as much as we used to, because, well, as I've stated, we have, because I've stated this in earlier streams, we have technology nowadays that see like the red flags for us, see the bad stuff for us that we should avoid. However, I still am on like the thing of, like, we should definitely like, there are certain things that are bad that we should have people experience firsthand, and so that way they know not to do it again. There's this joke where it's like this kid who is like playing with like an electrical socket, and they have a fork, and the mom says, oh no, don't, oh no, little Timmy, don't do that. But then the dad's like, no, let's let him learn his lesson. And so the kid gets shocked. He doesn't die, but he does get electrocuted. And he's fine afterwards. But the dad says, what did we learn here? And it's stuff like that where it's like, yes, it's dead. Well, like, that's kind of a bad example because, well, it's deadly. But it does bring up a good point of, there are certain things that we should really learn firsthand, because like, otherwise, how are we gonna understand it? Like, we don't want to go to that point in history where it's gonna be like everyone is like scared of like the smallest little thing. What we want to do is have courage, know what is bad, and all that stuff. All right. So, like, there's a lot of things that we can experience firsthand. Like, there's that joke where it's like, oh, do you know how to swim? No. And then the guy just picks up the kid and just throws him into the lake. So there's that. Okay, so then we do 1, 2. Okay, and then... Okay, so let's do that. Hold on, give me a moment. I'm gonna do something, okay? Okay, so this goes 1, 2, 3. Okay, do 1, 2. And then we're gonna have one, and we're gonna have that, okay? And then we're gonna go 1, 2, 2, 3. Boom. Then we're gonna do that as well. And then we're gonna kind of repeat the same thing on the back. Just give me a moment, okay? So I messed up here. I messed up here. Hold on. No. I know I was in a deep conversation. Just give me a moment. Hold on. Perfect. Okay. So we're getting a bit of a layout here, okay? We're getting somewhere. But yeah, we shouldn't just like, there's even a point in the Bible, I think it's Peter, where it states that the devil prowls around like a lion on the hunt or something like that. And we went over that in church at one point, and one of the things I took from that is what you should do is focus on the good things. However, be wary of the bad things that can happen. Focus on the good things that are going on, but be wary and be mindful of bad stuff that's happening. Yes, I did just bring the Bible into this because there is a verse that talks about that, and that's what I would take away a lot from it. It's in Peter, or I believe. But that's a lot of things that we should do, and why we should, while yes, focus on the good stuff, be mindful and wary of the bad stuff that's going on. All right. And so, don't just only focus on the bad stuff, because then we have people like that don't ever want to go outside because, well, they're scared of being outside. Because they're scared of what would happen to them if they ever go outside, because they hear only bad stuff, but they won't listen to the good stuff. I'm gonna get a bunch of glass. Hello. Doth you sell glass? Actually, I'm gonna use this. Doth you sell glass? Okay. Doth you sell glass? You doth not sell glass. Glass. Did I say glass? Glass. Shit, I'm getting my list back. Getting a speech impediment back where I would talk like this. Talk like this. I got better about that. But still, I honestly, like, but take my advice on this, on some stuff like this, okay? There's always a thing, don't trust everything you hear on the internet. But honestly, while that is true, we shouldn't trust everything we hear on the internet. There are certain things where you shouldn't trust it, and that's why there's something called fact checking. Like making sure it's true. This is why a lot of times I say there's a chance that I may be wrong. Somebody fact check me on this, because there's sometimes where I can generally be wrong, and I realize that that somebody might take my word on it and try my advice out, and they'll be like, oh wow, this person's a liar. He lied to me. The thing that he said would work didn't work, and that's something I don't really want to happen, and someone to like lose distrust in me. Because fun fact, that actually happens with everyone in real life, with almost everybody, but but it happens with different people. Primarily the person that it happens with is the parents usually. Yeah. What do I mean? Well, when you're a kid and you look at your parents, oftentimes you see someone who is like amazing. They could do no wrong. They can never lie. There's nothing that they can do that's wrong. They can never make a mistake. But then as you get older, you realize that they're humans too, and that and that they can make mistakes as well. And a lot of times, when people first find out about their parents being able to make mistakes and not, and there is some chance that they can do wrong. I'm stuttering here. They start to kind of like resent them a bit, because to them it's the same thing as when you look up to somebody and find out that they're a liar or something. They start resenting their parents because this once amazing person that can do no wrong has appeared to have lied to them all their life, because they looked up to them. And it's like that. It's kind of like that scene from Cloud with Chance Meatballs, when Chester V is revealed to be evil, or he reveals himself that he's actually evil to Flint Lockwood, and Flint says, "But you were my idol. All my life I looked up to you. I wanted to be you." To which Chester is like, "Oh, we all make mistakes here." And it's all of that stuff, and all of a sudden he just resents, and he resents him afterwards. And that's how a lot of what happens when you think that someone could do no wrong. All of a sudden is revealed that they're human too, that they can do wrong as well. And all of a sudden you think to yourself, that I looked up to you. You're my idol. I want to be you. That then, or some form of that always comes up. And a lot of times that happens with people's parents, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people go through like the rebellious phase, because they're like, you're not what I thought you were. You're not the big strong person that I thought that could do no wrong. You're just another one of someone else. You're a big disappointment to anything I've ever really cared about. That's how a lot of people's minds go to. Even if you think that you're not thinking it that way, that is how it works. That is how some thoughts come up. Because you think, oh, this person's they're not invincible. Well, I can do whatever I want around them. But the thing is, what a lot of people think about that, what a lot of people in that rebellious phase don't realize, is the simple fact of, like, yes, they're not invincible, but neither are you. You are also not invincible. You are also not untouchable. You are just like them. And that's another thing. Another thing is, people don't like another thing about them becoming their parents, okay? But I'm thinking to myself, why is that a bad thing? And I thought that for a while, and I realized something. Why a lot of people thought it was a bad thing. The reason why people think that it's a bad thing is because they see their parents as when they grow up and they realize that they're not like this big person that could do no wrong. When they find out about that, their perspective of them changes to where it was like, oh yes, I am the superhero and I'm the strongest person in the world, to the, hi everybody, I'm this boring person that nobody wants to be. That's how it is. But what you don't realize is that how you're living your life is a lot of how they live their life. Like, there's a lot of that joke going around where it's like when your dad drops like the lore of how he was when he was a kid, because yeah, that's how it was. But you may be thinking, why are they like this now? Well, one, your parents both met each other, and here's a little thing that I actually learned from my college group. Even if you think that it's not happening, you are influenced by the people who you hang out with, who you hang around. So your parents most likely start influencing each other, and they kind of toned each other down a bit to a level that they can both be at. Like, let's say like one parent A and parent. Let's say that parent A and parent B are like at two different levels. Here's parent A, here's parent B. Okay, yeah, they're at parent A is really high up on like the wildness that they're at, and then parent B, like they're unhingedness, and parent B is like down here, more of like like more like a person that behaves. But because they kind of like influence each other, they kind of come to the same exact level. So one of them used to not really be very used to be very like loose, and they were just like all tight, like all together, just all pent up. But then they met your one of your parent. They met your other parent, and all of a sudden they started learning to kind of like loosen up a bit, kind of going out, becoming more unhinged. Meanwhile, the one that was like the most unhinged met the other parent, and met parent A, and started like learning to kind of calm down a bit, stop just like started building up more of a filter of things that they say, learned how to be more like learned how to behave more. And that's how it happened. People, and a lot of times people are like, oh yeah, your mom just dumbs down your dad to the point where he's just no longer fun. Yeah, that, while that is true, there's a good chance that your dad also did the same to your mother as well. People are influenced by the people that they hang out with, even if they don't think that they are. They are influenced by the people that they hang out with. While you're being influenced by your friends in one way, you are just as much influencing them in another way. Yeah, so there's that. But then it's like, well, that still seems like that they would be a lot more cool that way. Why are they this way? Well, it's because they had you. The reason why, like, if you're the first child, the reason why they're kind of a lot more like, oh, we need to be more safe, is because they had you. And no, I'm not saying you're the reason you ruined your parents' life. No, what I'm saying is, when they had you, all of a sudden their world changed, and now their entire thing is, they found out that where before they were like, yes, nothing matters, everything is awesome, we can do whatever we want, party and all that stuff. All of a sudden, the moment they have you, that goes from yes, party, to we need to protect this thing at all costs. I do not care. They have done nothing, absolutely nothing. Their entire portfolio of their life just says shit once, and I love them. That is, it goes from that to, I need to protect this thing at all costs. I don't care. I love it. We need to get rid of some stuff that's dangerous in our lives. We need to stop doing that. We need to go back to this. And then when they're older, and they're old enough to do a bit more dangerous stuff, and we can sleep easy, knowing that they'll be okay, then we can go back to doing that. But then the problem with that is that years later, they've been doing things on the safe side for so long, to the point where now, they don't really care much about it anymore. They're just like, I prefer to just stay inside and just stay safe and all that stuff. If I don't really want to go out. I just wanted to stay inside. I want to be safe and all that stuff. So yeah, that's the reason why that happens. However, there are some parents, like my dad, who never really forgot what it was like to be that young. So there's a lot of stuff where he's actually like concerned why I'm being safe. Like, yeah, I like to go outside. Yeah, sure, I'll go outside, and I'll go and do some stuff. Like, if I'm going on a camping trip, yeah, I'll go on a camping trip. Yeah, if I'm gonna go out and do something, I'll go out and do something. Yeah, sure, why not? But whenever like I'm just inside in the dark, like kind of like what I am now. I have the light on, but I don't have like the sun. He's like, how come you're just sitting here? You're not doing anything. Why are you just why are you just inside all day? I prefer if you went outside, because he remembers what it was like when he would go outside. Because nowadays people don't really like going outside. They prefer to stay inside. I did not. Okay, they prefer to stay inside, but when he was little, like his entire entertainment was like a few channels on TV, and going and watching and going outside. That was his entertainment. And that's why nowadays, like, a lot of parents are like, why don't you go and do that? It's because this is our entertainment now. What you guys are watching? You guys are watching me. This is your entertainment. But still, it would be nice once in a while to go outside. Like, my doctor at one point said that I don't really have enough vitamin D. So after that, I've started going and trying to go outside a bit more. I tried doing that because, well, I would prefer if I would like to go out. I would like to keep my sanity with that. Hold on, let me boom. I forgot to use it on the pickaxe. But yeah, I'm okay with going outside, and then that's nice because vitamin D you get from the sun. And but the thing is, like, one of the reasons why people don't go outside is because, like, a bunch of generations spent the past 30 years telling the generation before them, the generation after them, not to go outside because there's serial killers, there's rapists, there's pedophiles out there, there's people who kidnap you, and now that same exact generation that has told us that is now wondering why we don't go outside. The same generation that told us all of this stuff is now wondering why we don't go outside. Which, tell somebody that something's gonna happen and they believe you. Don't act surprised when they believe you. Okay? Don't act surprised. Like, and don't be like, oh, I didn't know they were this gullible. You spent a long time teaching this generation that something bad would happen to them if they did the thing, if they disobeyed you and went outside. You told them that. You told them that, and now you're wondering why they don't do anything. You're mad because they're doing what you told them to do, which is another thing. Why does, like, people get mad at other people for doing things that they told them to do? Like, I would love to know this. Why is this? Why is this a thing? Like, like, for years and years, we're told, oh yeah, do this thing, it's better, and then now after doing it for so long, where they're like, why are you doing this? It's horrible. Whose idea was it? And it's like, it was your idea. Also, fun fact, did you know that that the entire, like, giving a diamond ring to somebody as their, or giving, like, an entire, like, yeah, the diamond ring thing, that thing is, like, just over 100 years old. The entire, like, tradition is just over 100 years old. Before it was like, let's say, like, let's use an example here, okay? It's like, Martha, will you marry me? And it'll be like, do you got something to show for it? It's like, yeah, I got an apple. Like, yep, it will be like that. I don't know why Martha. Don't ask why I said Martha. Martha was just the first name pops into my head. I don't know why. It's always like whenever, like, it's probably because of that voice I do where it's like the voice that I always say, like, whenever cheap viewers on streamblue.com, that voice. It's like the average, like, 1920s dad voice. And for some reason that is, like, anytime I use that voice, the name Martha always comes up whenever I say that. I honestly could not tell you why. Honestly, I could not. But that used to be what it was. Like, in ancient Greece, I don't know if it was in Greece or in Rome, where it was like if you threw an apple at somebody, it would be a sign of a marriage proposal. I'm not joking. Okay, so how did I make this house? Okay. And yes, I do plan on making this house. I plan on putting like a thing that looks like it's a TV right here with like the stairs going up. So yeah. Plan on putting like a little kitchen right here. This stuff will really not really mean anything. it would just be like, okay, we go up, then my room is gonna be like right here. It's gonna be like right here on top floor, and then there'll be this one for like, I don't know. There'll be like a balcony. I'm going based off of memory on what I had like in an old house. There is a specific YouTube short that I had a long time ago. Well, I think it was Special Message. I think that's what it was called. And where you see me going into a house that has like ladders all around it, has melons and pumpkins outside of it. That's the house I'm going based off of. However, I don't think I'm going to be doing the same thing. What time is it? You know what? We got another 26 minutes. What's the hurry? We're fine. No, but yeah, things are going fine. But yeah, why like someone tells you to do something, you do the thing that someone tells you to do, and then they're like, why'd you do that? You told me. Why'd you listen to me? And it's like that. Like there's some times where it's like sure, use better judgment, but still, don't do this. Don't do that thing where it's like, well, why'd you do it? But the even worse type of person that there is the type of person that would be like, do this thing. And I'm like, okay, and you do it, and they're like, wait, why'd you do? Well, hey, where's the thing? And it's like, what do you mean? And yeah, I left it right here. You told me to put it away. No, I didn't. I hate when people do that. Like, why must you do this? Oh yeah, I need to go and get more Actually, I got a lot of emeralds here. Why don't I just spend it all on bricks? First things first. You owe me a whole bunch of this stuff, and now you must give me all the bricks. Okay. Like that's an entire person that like should not be allowed to give you directions, give you orders. Like if somebody is in power to the point where and the power's gone to their head to the point where they will tell you to do something, and then they will get mad at you for doing the exact thing that they told you to do. Or for doing the exact thing that they told you to do. And tell you that they never told you to do anything of the sort. And then like to the point where like and then tell you that it's a chance that you can get fired over it, like if it's like your job where you can get in trouble over it or something like that. So they don't deserve to be if they pull a stunt like that, they don't deserve to be in that position. They do not. If they just like abuse their power like that, they don't deserve to be in that position of power. So yeah, there's my takeaway on that. I think at like 2:15 I'm gonna get off because I need to charge my phone. I don't charge my phone at work, but the charge that my phone should be just enough for to last me throughout the entire night. To last me through the entire night. But oh yeah, I need to chop down more trees. I'm regrowing the forest, don't worry. I remember like there was always that one guy who would like there was like several channels where they did this where they would be like, dude, why is this happen? This happened, and it'd be like questions to make you think, questions to like make you think and all that stuff. I remember I did that, and there was this one kid in the class that was always like a smartass. He was always like, "You got that off the internet," and back then I was like, "No, why would you think I got that off the internet?" Because I saw it on the internet. But nowadays, I wouldn't. I would be like, okay, yeah, sure, I saw it off the internet. So what? I'm unoriginal? Okay, cool. I'm unoriginal. There's not a single original thing that you thought that you can come up with that hasn't at least been said before at least once in history. And like that's something I really want to say because like why do you gotta be that person, huh? Why do you gotta be the person that like tries to take someone else down just because you don't think that what they're saying is very smart. What may not be smart to you is actually not is that could be probably extremely smart to someone else. Someone completely different, someone else. I used to be on the like on the argument of there are no such thing as smart questions, because what can be smart to you is completely idiotic to someone else. It's something completely idiotic to someone else. But then again, this was the same type of kid where it was like the narcissist when it came to like jokes. I'm not joking. I'm not kidding. Nah. This guy would think that he was the smartest person in the world for coming up with a joke that meant absolutely nothing. That meant absolutely nothing. Or had no punchline to it. But then if someone came up with an actual joke that actually had a punchline to it, people laughed at that, he would just be there like, that's not funny. Why would that be funny? And he would just try and convince everyone that it wasn't funny. This was the same guy that would try and get my soap making business that try to stop my soap making business, which he succeeded in that, and I hate that he did. But that's the thing. Like, why are there people like that, where just because you don't find a joke funny does not mean that other people don't find it funny either? Okay, just because you don't like, and this kind of just circles back to what I was originally talking about, about how like just because you don't like something doesn't mean that other people should also not like it. Just because you don't like something does not mean that you need to go around telling people that they shouldn't like something just because you don't like it or you're uncomfortable with it. You shouldn't do that, which is what this kid would often do. He didn't like my jokes, or he didn't like anyone else's joke. So he would just be like, that joke is not funny at all. Why would that be funny? Yeah. But you or like you would come up with like a riddle, or you would tell everyone a riddle, and he would be like, that's not a good riddle. I could have solved that in like 5 seconds. Then why didn't you? And he would always come up with, and he would always come up with like different like excuses on why. Yet you want to hear what his riddle was? Okay, here's the riddle. If I'm a moose and you're a moose and they're a moose and that person's a moose, is that person over there a moose? And everyone would be like, yes. And be like, no. Okay, here we go again. I'm a moose, you're a moose, that person's a moose, that person over there's a moose, and that person's a moose. Is that person over there a moose? No. And you're like, yes, they are. And you want to know why this was stupid? Because the entire thing was like, look, if I say if before I say I'm a moose, then you're not a moose. But if I don't say it, then you are a moose. And it was really stupid. Nobody thought, everyone was like, that is extremely dumb. Like, why did you make us sit through all this stuff? And then there was another one where it's like, where it's like this guy, he kind of singled me out on this one, where he was like, okay, there are two penguins sitting in a boat. One of them says, pass the oar. There is a joke that's a lot like that my dad actually told me, that the reason why it's funny is because there's no punchline. But so many of us could not get the fact that there was a punchline. No, that there wasn't a punchline. No, here's another version of it. There are two ducks in a bathtub. One of them says, pass the soap. That's it. That's the joke. The joke is that there is no punchline. That's it. And the thing is, like, it's funny when you explain. This is like one of those very few jokes where it's funny when you explain it. When you explain that that's how it's supposed to work. Like, you can. Like, you may not like it, but you can understand why it's funny. That specific one, I really could not understand to this day. Even though I'm explaining to you guys right now that those types of jokes, that's the reason why that they're funny, is because they don't have a punchline. Because of the simple fact of they're supposed to just be the joke with no punchline. That's it. But this guy was like hell-bent on, for some reason, making me look like an idiot all the time. Why are you so hell-bent on doing that? I do that on my own. I already make myself look like an idiot on my own. Why do you need validation to make me look like one? Here's the thing. He may be thinking, oh, I'm probably just self-centered. He probably did this to everyone else. No, he didn't. He fucking did not. He did this to just me. He just singled me out. I don't know why. But back to that. That's kind of just circles back to the entire thing of why are you like this? Why do you do that? Why, like, just because you don't like something does not mean that you don't have to, that other people don't want, that other people shouldn't like it either. Okay? That is what I say. I say that just because you don't like something does not mean that other people should hate it as well. And a lot of people, for some reason, don't get that. They're like, everyone needs to agree with me. No, they don't. You don't need validation for people to agree. You don't need people to agree with you for you to know that you're right. There were a lot of people in history that were like, oh, everyone thinks that I'm wrong. I will prove them wrong. I will show them that they are wrong. I will show them. I'll show all of them. And they continue doing this thing. Nikola Tesla, we had what was his name? Alexander Graham Bell, Eli Whitney, Edward Jenner. Those guys, when they a lot of people, they said that they wouldn't need, they said that they wanted to be able to make that stuff. And here we are today. Like with Alexander Graham Bell, we now have the phone. And the guy who created the computer, I don't remember who the guy that created the computer was, but the guy who created television. Shit, I can't pronounce that. Philo Farnsworth. He was the guy who created television, and a lot of people thought that it couldn't be done. And here we are today. Now while it's not a television, it's a computer that most likely you guys are watching on, or you're watching probably on your phone. There's a good we have a way to broadcast and telegraph everything across. We have a way to telegraph stuff now. So don't, if someone thinks that you're wrong, if people think that you're wrong, a lot of times don't take their word. Don't listen to them. If you believe in yourself, you can accomplish wonders. Just with believing in yourself. All right, things can work out if you just believe. Now, don't take this in a way where it's like, I can do anything, including defy the laws of physics. There are certain things that cannot be done in this world. Okay, there are some exceptions of which that cannot be done, but there are a lot of things that people will tell you that you cannot do, and yet you would be able to do it if you just believe. I believe there was this one Bible verse where I don't remember where it was from, but it went something along the lines of, I can do anything through the might of the Lord. And when there are certain verses that I'm not able to quote word for word, but I sure can sometimes quote something along the lines of it. Okay, I may not be able to quote things that are fully correct, but I can try and inspire people through it. And so, I know that this seems like I'm trying to push my faith onto people, but here's the thing: you want to take it that way, go ahead. I'm not. I'm just trying to use things as an example. I even do this in Bible study as well, where where like, what is something that you like? We read an entire chapter from the Bible, and they're like, okay, what can you get? What is this that you can get from it? And I'll be like, what I take away from it and I'll use like an example of like a movie or a show or maybe a book or maybe a video game. I will use one of those. I'll use some of those as an example. So that way I can. So that way, because I want to like kind of like connect with people, kind of like give an example, so that way they can understand a little bit more about certain things. I use the Bible because there's a lot of people that read the Bible and that would actually get inspired a lot by it. So that's kind of why I use it a lot. So yeah. However, I'm sorry that I'm gonna have to cut this kind of short, but you know, maybe I might come back maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Tomorrow's Friday, right? I might come back tomorrow. But that's gonna be it for now. Thank you guys for watching. Share this to other people. Recommend this to other people. Join the Discord. Link is in the description. Join my Twitch. Link is also in the description. For Twitch, go over and join my Discord. Link is on my page. And if you want, join my go over and subscribe to me over on YouTube. We have fun. I can talk about some stuff over here, but and a lot of times I'm very quiet. But it's the same thing over on YouTube as it is on here. However, YouTube I do have a bit more content because I do post videos over there. Meanwhile, over here on Twitch, I mainly just live stream. However, for Twitch, if you want to catch a live stream that is guaranteed not to go bad, then try over on Twitch while I do stream on YouTube. As I keep saying in a lot of my videos and my streams, sometimes OBS doesn't understand what YouTube is. So, thank you guys for watching. That's going to be it. I bid you farewell and goodbye. Read the Bible.